actually hate this picture of Dylan. His face looks really uncanny.
Dylan Frayberry?
No. O'Brien. Like, it almost looks like two different pictures put together.
Sure.
Like, it kind of looks like that picture from Bones that you hate, where she's like, those features can't exist on a person. Yeah. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
that's a good episode of Bones.
I don't know. I feel like I've seen it.
I've certainly showed you that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching Teen Wolf, Season 5, Episode 4.
Condition Terminal.
Maybe?
Well, they killed him, so...
This was a good episode. I like this episode. I'm in that period where I'm like...
You're like, oh no, is it good?
I'm like, is this show good? Did I just have like a couple of hangups? Because it like... I still don't like Theo, and I don't think that's going to change.
Yeah.
But it's like back to the parts that I like and the lore and the character work and the world building. Like, I don't know. I really dig this one. I forgot how much Parrish was part of this.
Yeah.
And that we're still trying to figure out his whole deal. That like entire first scene with him and Lydia, I love it so much.
And the playing cards they had to have had specially made so that the Queen of Diamonds looks just like her.
But I don't know. It's very Teen Wolf, and it's very like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And like it pulls you in with him in his apartment playing with the cards and like flipping back and forth, and then we like flash back to a conversation he had with Lydia. And I just find their chemistry so interesting because you can tell that like any actual romance is secondary.
Sure.
Like they are actually working on something first. And like, I'm trying to think of how to explain it. Like a lot of times, and especially with like, well, Stiles and Lydia or Scott and any of his girlfriends, it's more of like a love at first sight. Like this person, I'm going to pursue this person.
Mm-hmm.
But the Lydia and Parrish thing is born out of more them being together and realizing that they kind of like each other,
yeah.
But they're still not really pursuing each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love watching the way Holland plays Lydia because she doesn't do a lot. Like she's not like a flashy actress. And even when she is, like, even when she's putting things on, it's like, even within the character, it's like the character of Lydia is kind of like hamming or being cheesy or whatever. But she does a lot of eye acting and she does a lot of staring. And because she did it a lot in like the first season, specifically with her like denial about the werewolves.
Well, that, and also it's always, for me, a lot of it, especially at the beginning, is, especially when she's with Jackson, is like, when she's staring, it's like her trying to decide how smart she wants to be in that moment, which I love.
And because we obviously know that she's like super smart, but I love how close to the vest she plays it so often. And especially when she's in scenes with someone like intimately, and that's not always romantic, but it's like,
but just a one-on-one.
She has a lot of unspoken, like, and because again, like I wish her and Scott had a little bit more material than they get, but I feel like their bond is very unspoken.
Yeah,
I don't know. I really like Lydia and Parrish's dynamic, and also we do get the seed that he knows jujitsu, and she's like, "Can you teach me some stuff?" And we did see her. I don't remember if we said it much. But in the first episode, when she was like breaking out of Eichenhaus, she was like, "Whoopah!"
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And
I just was like, sure. I didn't even like.
It is one of the things that I would have just accepted.
Yeah.
But I do like that they attempted to explain it and also did it very organically.
Sure.
And not in an exposition-y way.
Yeah, but it's like, so she got attacked by Tracy, and she basically, when she woke up in the hospital, she was like, I need to learn how to fight. Like, why don't you teach me? Also, okay, so if we're getting into the plot of it, like the beginning starts off kind of where we left off after the credits, after the Parrish scene in the credits, which he is dreaming of bringing bodies to the Nematon.
But I was going to say, even that, though, I really like that we're not sure where exactly that scene takes place in
time
in this season.
Yeah.
Because you're right. We have that sort of like I don't know how to vignette, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I would compare it to like the American Gods, like Somewhere in America scenes, where it's like they're definitely important to the understanding and tone, but they're not exactly plot per se, and like where and when they happen.
Yeah.
I really like that. And yeah, then after the credits, we go right back to where we left off. But you're right. Like, he's having dreams.
Yeah, of carrying bodies to the Nematon. And Lydia is like, no, that's a real place. It exists. It's here in Beacon Hills. And he's like, but I've never seen it before. Weird.
He's telling it as he's explaining it to Lydia and thus us. We're seeing it. And it's Tracy that he's carrying. And so we're sort of like, because again, we're layers deep into this like...
Yeah.
Scene that's a flashback within a memory within a dream. So I really like that ambiguousness, and it's something that Teen Wolf does not necessarily a lot, but it does it, and I love when it does it. I love that sort of like just get into it, like just get into the vibe thing. I really like that.
But then everybody is at the police station. Everyone's waking back up, and then the Theo thing. It's just like now that well, because we already knew the first time around, though, because he's been in the room with the Dread Doctors and shit already. Like, he's been in this episode for sure.
Yeah.
But he's, like, been doing shady stuff already. And so it's really irritating. It's too much.
Yeah. Like, it's big to make another joke.
Someone shit on the coats.
Well, I was going to say, who the hell is this guy?
Well, that, too.
Because we made a joke about Friends. We did a little dissertation about Friends at the end of our watch-along. If you want to watch along with us, you can head on over to Patreon at patreon.com/soimwatching this show. Join the $3 tier. So he's new in town.
Yeah.
And it gets worse.
He's new in town. He's from their past.
Yeah.
He's a werewolf. He wants to join the pack. He's got his fingers in too many.
Yeah. He's like suddenly in Scott's AP Bio class.
Yeah. And also we're seeing that he's like beating his maybe dad with a hammer.
Yeah.
And also he's like visiting his dead sister or like there's just so many things. And there's a part of me where I'm like, how is this 16-year-old new kid suddenly in league with the Dread Doctors?
Yeah, I think he's the same age. I think he's a senior as well. I think he's 18.
Sure.
But regardless, I take your point. It totally checks out. The thing that annoys me in this is that in the first scene, everyone is like looking at Lydia, where Kira is still, presumably keeping the majority of the blood inside Lydia's body, and he's like, whoosh, and takes off his belt and tourniquets her torso.
You're really hung up on that.
I don't think that's how it works. I don't think you can tourniquet the torso. It's like an extremities thing.
Well, you're also not really meant to survive like a katana to the heart, but that happens in this world sometimes.
Look. Anyway, and then so Stiles is super butthurt because Theo acted before him. I mean,
but actually, we're both on Stiles' side, but he shoves Stiles out of the way to do it.
Really, yeah.
It's whatever. So, from there we go to, how do we get to the club?
We do just sort of arrive there. Mason is having apparently his dating life is a tragedy, and I'm like, you're a sophomore, it's fine, don't even worry about it. But so he has enlisted Liam to come and be his flight attendant,
his wingman, and there was a second thing, and flight attendant.
It was super funny. So apparently they were going, because at first I was like, why is, I even forgot her name already. Hayden. Why is she the bouncer at this club? But apparently she's a bartender, or a server, which is somehow even crazier. And she's letting him in the side door.
It's off the books.
Yeah.
I feel because don't we find out that it's just her and her sister or something? Because we still don't know that cop is her sister.
But that cop is her sister.
Yeah.
The one who was like, that kid's out there trying to kill you if you think I'm going home. Doesn't she? Okay, so I'm sorry. I'm potentially spoil some. Doesn't she have cancer or something? Or their mom has cancer?
That's what I started to say.
Okay.
I was like, I think that they need money because that's plot shorthand they use on this show.
Because Hayden is like, that's not going to be enough.
And so I think that she's it's like off the books under the
Okay.
table, like working at this. And I mean, at least it's a gay bar. Like I feel a little bit better about
but the bartender seems like a real dick.
He was awful. I don't, yeah.
Can his condition be terminal?
Well, my favorite part is she's like, you're at work, you're not supposed to be drinking. And he's like, my hand's steady. To which Kristen was like, yeah, because you're drunk. Like
it's not a sobriety test.
Also, but like you get the shakes when you're not drinking.
Yeah, or like on Coke or something.
Yeah, it's like that's not proving the point you think it's proving.
I've had 2 shots and it's steady, and I'm just like, yeah, okay.
But I do love a gay nightclub scene. I forget, does this count as our rave of the season?
I don't remember.
I don't know if we get another rave. If this is it, I'll allow it. I'll accept it.
I do feel like they're at this club again at some point. Yeah.
And it's I like that it's a gay club, but it's also a themed. It's like cinema.
Yeah.
But it's like
S-I-N,
sin.
Yeah.
But also they're playing movies. It's a lot. I don't know. I like it, but it is a lot.
It's a lot of layers.
And they're not needed, but I mean I appreciate the dedication.
Yeah.
But Mason is there. Well, they're still we're still dealing with Brett.
Well, we're not like dealing with Brett. He's just around. He goes to Beacon Hills now.
Okay, he does. Right. I couldn't remember if this was still them trying to get it on Satomi's back or whatever.
Not so far. I think they just arrived at the club and Brett was also there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, but Mason is going after this other guy.
Yeah. His name is.
Was he why they were there? Was Mason trying to meet up with him?
Mason was just trying to
hook
up.
I'm speaking of doing too much.
Yeah, Lucas.
So yeah, Mason finds this guy Lucas who, and around about the same time, we get a new boy.
Meanwhile,
we get a new boy, Corey, who's admitted to the Beacon Hills Hospital, and we also get Liam's stepdad back.
Just for one quick scene.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we really liked him in theory and concept in season 4.
Well, he's also hot,
and we were and it's like. Considering that we just had like the Sheriff Stilinski and Natalie date, it's like, I don't know, let's throw Melissa like a date or something in there. And it's the kind of thing where we want more of him and we technically get it, but it's almost worse because it's like, oh, so you do bring him back, but then you do nothing with him?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Whatever. There's only so many minutes.
You can only do so much.
But this new kid, Corey, is in like insane severe pain. His arm is like melting off. Nothing that they try is working. They can't put him under. They can't, like, the morphine's not working. Nothing. They determine it's like scorpion venom, but the amount of scorpion venom should have killed him, and B, Melissa said would be from like a 10-foot scorpion, which Kira is not a fan of that news.
I don't think anyone should be a fan of that news.
It's like that ClickHole article where it's like Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
With the spiders being the size.
Oh boy.
It was something about like, what if spiders were the size of dogs?
Yeah.
It's like, because on one hand, they wouldn't get in your house as easily.
But if they do.
But on the other hand, if they do, oh boy. So Scott comes in, takes so much of Corey's pain.
Yeah.
And it's like more than we've ever seen with the black veins, and it like goes
like
into his jaw with like it's a lot. He shouldn't do that. And we get another scene. It's one of the things the show does so well and so just perfect, the perfect amount, where I love Scott's relationship with his mom.
Mm-hmm.
It's so genuine, and it's so I'm going to use the word healthy. I feel like that's a weird word to use, but like he doesn't have hangups. Like he's not a mommy's boy.
No.
And she's not a boy mom, even though she is.
No.
But she's not. But she like
she has a son. She's not a boy mom.
But she is a mother to a lot of boys.
Yeah, but again, it's not the same, because I've said the same thing about my mother-in-law. I was like, she has only sons, 2 sons. but she is not a boy mom.
Isn't that Jules from Cougar Town?
She's not even.
No, she is.
Well, but not that way. Sort of.
You only watched half of Cougar Town.
That's true. But I feel like that's played a lot more for comedy, where
comedy.
like in real life,
it's very Oedipal.
They want to be in love with their sons, and it's gross.
But no, I just love that he's like, he doesn't have any hangups with it, and he looks to his mother
for guidance,
like real
and
guidance.
Yeah.
And also, like I said, I've said this a handful of times, but it's also weirdly rooted in werewolf mythology, because there's that thing where it's like, and I think they actually get into it in the next season, but there's like a thing in werewolf mythology where a certain woman, like another person, usually female, can pull a werewolf out of a trance if they like speak his Christian name clearly. And it's frequently in the mythos meant it's best if it's like a mother or a grandmother, because there's something about like the familial line that can pull the human back out of the werewolf. And so the fact that Scott so frequently kind of defers to his mother, it like I said, it feels very thoughtful and authentic in the show's lore.
Yeah.
And she's just deployed so well, and she even pulls that like, look, I know I can't tell you to stay out of this, but you should stay out of this.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot fix everything, and by golly, he is gonna try.
He's gonna try. We've talked about it before. It's like it's my actual problem with like the hero character of shows like this, and it's like it's a Buffy thing, it's a Katniss thing, it's it's like all the things where I'm like, you cannot take on the guilt of every person who dies.
I like it better with Scott. I think it works more with Scott than with some of the others. Like,
well,
I feel
they
like
don't harp on it.
Well, I was gonna say, I feel like he's more an exception that proves the rule.
Yeah.
Especially because it's not rooted in ego for him.
Sure. He like actually feels bad.
Well, but not even that, because then you can get into like a weird like shame, but it's like, I think it's more so rooted in his naivety.
Okay.
Like, I think he doesn't know another way to be. Like, he doesn't know how to not charge head first. Because another one that I think actually was really good at it was KJ Appa and Archie.
Yeah. Eyes closed head first.
Bent at the waist, fists out. And so, but I don't like saying it this way because I feel like it sounds derogatory, but it's like my favorite thing about Scott is that he's kind of a dummy.
Yeah.
And it like, in so many places, it ends up working out in his favor. And it's also in a way that's very canine.
Sure.
Like, it's very...
Yeah, sure.
Which, again, I feel like it falls back on the mythology. And I love that. Like, it's one thing to just be like, oh, but, like, what if Rapunzel's mother was a dryad? And it's like, what if? Like, what bearing does that have in anything? Which, that was Once Upon a Time shade.
I was gonna say, yeah, like, what if Belle was actually in love with Rumpelstiltskin? And it's like, I guess.
Based on what, though? It's like, show me the foundation. Like, where do these roots go? And so it like, I like when people do things different, or when, like, stories or productions or whatever make a big swing, but I want to feel like it came from somewhere.
Sure. Yeah.
And not just somebody flipping a table.
Or like rolling dice or something, yeah.
We did get the Chimera.
Oh, yeah.
That
from
word
that
was
shit-ass teacher. I'm sick of her already.
I can't remember if it serves a purpose.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember. I was going to say, I don't think she has a supernatural element. If she does, fine, I'll allow it when we get to it. And if not, I will allow it. I do. That is one of the places where the show really strains for me, is the ways that it's beholden to their teenagerness
Sure,
and the
like
high
high school,
school,
yeah.
where it really worked in seasons 1, 2, and 3A, but like after that, it starts feeling more like a hindrance.
Like if we had just done a weird time jump and like everything after 3B happened in the summers between college, it would have been fine.
I almost would be fine if they just
Stopped.
just stopped acknowledging it.
Yeah.
Like just and in our minds we can be like, okay, well maybe they're 19 now. Like maybe I don't know. There's something about it where it just and I think it's why Theo doesn't work for me. It's the fact that they keep tying it into their school.
Yeah. Oh, what you kept saying about the like Little League and like the elementary school and stuff.
It just it rips me back into that like, oh God.
Yeah.
Like and I just like I can remember being that age, and it's like I don't know. I you know, I'm mostly fine with it. And if that's something that you do care about, it is I'm using the word shorthand a lot, but I think that that's apt for this season of this show, where it's like, I think that teacher being that way is a really good shorthand to remind us that they do have other responsibilities.
Yeah, but then for me, it gets to a place where I'm like, we know and can see and can recognize that Scott is turning over a new leaf and is like trying to actually do something. So like constantly having this teacher be like waving this sheet in front of his face going, you should drop my class, is sort of like, okay, bitch, like whatever. He's going to be a veterinarian. Get out of here.
Also, I mean, I guess to your initial point, I wish it was just community college or something.
Yeah.
Like or like a Votech of your choice.
Sure. Well, because even it's like on something like Buffy, it's like even before they went to college, by the time that we're like halfway through season 3, the school is like literally only there because the library is a major set. They're not like going to school, you know?
I was gonna say, I feel like the Buffy handled the transition to college really well.
It is one of the few.
Yeah. I'm going to have a little bit of a hard time with the word. I always said chimera, but they all pronounce it chimera. And I think that is one of those things where that is technically correct, but it feels like they're overdoing it.
It's fine.
So I'm going to second guess it every time I say it. So if I say it weird, it's because I'm like, I'm going to panic halfway through the word and try to pivot.
Yeah, they do discover the chimera thing because Mrs. Finch, they talked to her about it.
We got Sydney back. She's like one of the day players. And again, one of my favorite things about, because that I recall, I don't think she ever has a lot of plot. But she was in season 4 and she's in this season.
Yeah, I like also, Theo goes to talk to Donovan because the doctors took him from the jail. Because I guess they captured him again, which I didn't remember them doing. So they took him from the jail cell and they're injecting him now, and he looks to have the Wendigo teeth. Mm-hmm. And so Theo's in there while he's all strapped down, and he's like, why do you want to kill the sheriff when you could kill his son? And so then at the end, he's got like a mouth hand, and he gets it on Stiles.
What is that?
I have no idea.
It's like a sarlacc pit. Or
yeah, it is. Do you know what I almost bought you the other day when I went to fucking...
I kind of don't want to know based on what prompted this.
When I went to Barnes & Noble to get my new Spike. I don't know where he went.
I put him behind.
You did? Oh, yeah. There was, now I've forgotten his name, from the Sandman with the teeth eyes.
The teeth for eyes.
Yeah. I was like, oh, should I
Was it a pop toy?
It was a pop toy.
You should have.
Okay, all right. Next time I go, I'll get it.
We just need to go to Barnes & Noble. Apparently that's because you were like...
ours does not have alcohol.
Okay.
I looked at the website and it's just got a Starbucks still.
But you were like, do you know they have Lego there?
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I didn't remember specifically Barnes & Noble, but there are places that have it, and it's also good places to look for like retired sets and stuff because people don't ever think to go there. And also I just love Barnes & Noble.
Me too. I almost bought like 4 cookbooks, and I was like, I came in here to buy a $14 toy. I can't spend $300 on cookbooks.
I like cookbooks. I mean, I know you can find any recipe on Google, but...
Maybe.
The world's in a place right now. We'll see.
What if they're considered pornography? I'm about to have a lot more attitude, you guys, so...
This was her holding back?
Yes, indeed. It was. You're welcome.
No, it's like one of those mouths with like teeth. It looks like the ballerina from Cabin in the Woods, but it's on his hand.
It does look. The Sarlacc pit was
Yeah.
a really good. It's just basically a circle with teeth in it, or like the Shai Halud. Yeah.
Yeah, we both
screamed.
There was like 3 parts in this episode where we were like, ah!
Because also when they got what's his face in the chest with the doctors were in condition terminal, and Scott is like, what does that mean? And they're like, failure, and he's like, what does that mean? And then they just leave. Malia's feeling pretty guilty. At the beginning, she was very like, this was not me.
I like
about
that
Tracy.
a lot.
Yeah. I like it a lot too. I think it's like really interesting that because it's a very organic journey that Malia is going on, where she's like, why do I feel bad about this person I don't know that was trying to kill us?
And it's not just from the previous episode. It's literally from her first episode.
Yeah.
Like
she has grown. Yeah, which I like.
And Shelley does a lot with a little. Like, because she had a whole scene just in Tracy's bedroom.
Yeah.
And she found one of those like 70s pulp novels that
called
said the Dread Doctors, and it had like a picture of them.
Yeah. And then at the very end, Parrish is carrying
Donovan.
No.
Or
Lucas to the Nematon as well.
And in the vision, there was like all kinds of bodies, but that was just in the dream.
That I think is just in the dream, that there's so many.
I think it's a little bit, wasn't it kind of foreshadowing? Like, don't we get there again?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Because now he's taken Tracy and he's taken Lucas. So all the failures are going to the Nematon. Yeah. So. That's something, and this is the last thing I'll say, but that is something that I appreciate about this show, is that like we got the Nematon for the first time in 3A, I think. Or like maybe the very end of 2.
3A.
Definitely 3A. But I like that it's still a thing. Mm-hmm. It is like the Hellmouth. Mm-hmm. It's like people are constantly trying to like activate the Nematon. I like it. I think it's smart.
We're not just like kidding around with all the Buffy references.
Yeah, no,
this
it's
is
legit.
very
It's very good. And I mean that as the highest compliment.
One, yeah.
So, yeah.
So, all right. Oh God, it's Jeff Davis, you better, I swear to God.
What?
I was just thinking about Buffy and how we have to deal with Joss. I don't know, cut this.
Oh, God.
It's like, Jeff Davis, I swear to God. No pool parties for you. I've seen your Instagram.
We might be too late.
You were looking at the boys again, weren't you?
Bye.